Hello everyone, I am the author, Alice Liddell, aka Lauren A.R. Masterson, and today I am going to be reading Freja's Baby. This is my second romance novel and my fourth novel overall. Please enjoy. Chapter 1. Alex. I leaned against the lockers while Gordon pulled out his books. I sighed and leaned my head against the cool metal. Alex, just do it, man. Gordon slammed his locker shut. You've been mooning over this for a week now. What do I say to her? I pleaded. Gordon rolled his eyes. How about the obvious? Will you go out with me? I wrinkled my nose. Oh, that's lame. You're making this more complicated than it needs to be. Gordon slammed his locker shut. But it is complicated, Gordon. I shook my head. I don't even know what to say to her. I haven't talked to her in so long. Gordon put his hand on my shoulder. Just go up there and say hi. Right, I nodded. Just say hi. I looked up at the staircase, then at Gordon. What if she hits me? He shook me by the shoulders. Do you want this girl or what? Remember what happened last time when you got cold feet? I swallowed. The year before, Freja and I had become good friends after volunteering for the summer t-ball team. I had been afraid to ruin our friendship, but as the school year rolled by, I couldn't stop thinking about her. Then one day, I got the guts to walk up to her locker, only to find Freja and Marcus's faces glued together. I was so enraged that I promised never to talk to Freja again. But rumors were running rampant that Marcus and Freja had split. Now was my chance. I'm gonna do it, Gordon. I balled my hands into fists and headed toward the stairs. I'm gonna do it. Gordon smirked. Go get him, lover boy. Freja. Bits of tape and fragments of photo corners were stuck to the inside of my locker door. I had done a massive cleaning the month before and shredded all the stupid photos of stupid Marcus. Nan had been super supportive and even let me throw them like confetti out her car window. I slammed my locker shut, shifting the books into my bag. I started heading down the hall toward algebra class. School was lonely. Marcus had signed up with the military, and a long-distance relationship was not going to work. Plus, I didn't want it to work anyway. I sighed. I didn't miss Marcus so much as I missed being with someone. Stupid Marcus. Hey! A familiar husky voice sent my heart racing. I turned and saw it was Alex. He was on the basketball team with Gordon, making him and his trim, muscular body one of the most popular boys in school. He was a far cry from the short, scrawny boy I'd grown up with. Why is he talking to me? I leaned against the lockers, trying to hide my shaking. What do you want? Alex shuffled his feet. What is he being so weird for? You going to homecoming this week? My face felt hot. I wasn't exactly keeping track of when homecoming was. No one had ever asked me to a school dance, and I didn't fool myself into thinking boys would start asking now. No, I muttered, annoyance tightening my chest. Alex's face fell. Oh, do you have plans? No, what's the big deal anyway? My insides writhed. I clenched my teeth. Stupid dance. Well, He closed his eyes and blurted out, Will you go to the dance with me? My mouth fell open. Shock rattled through my brain as I processed what he had said. I tried to formulate words, but nothing was coming out. Freja? Alex's cheeks reddened as he locked his gaze on mine. Anger coiled into a tight knot in my stomach. Is this some kind of joke? Alex's eyes widened. No, why would I do that? He looked away. I mean, if you don't want to go. He looked crestfallen. My heart began to hammer. The tiny light of hope I had stupidly kept all these years suddenly grew into a roaring flame. Oh my God, he really is asking me. Without thinking, I grabbed his wrist. I swallowed the excited panic in my throat. I would love to go with you. Alex grabbed my hand in both of his. I bit my lip to keep from squealing with joy at his touch. Really? He gushed. Oh my God. He bounced. Okay, I'll pick you up at 9 then. He laughed. I have to get to class. He turned and waved at me. I'll see you Saturday. He shouted down the hall as he ran away to class. I stood rooted to the spot. People in the hall were staring, just as dumbfounded. My feet led me to algebra class, my mind racing. Did Alex really just ask me to homecoming? Chapter 2. Alex. Gordon was already at his desk when I ran into the classroom with a grin plastered on my face. Gordon looked up. He had been talking with Nina, the head cheerleader. He and Hannah were constantly getting into fights from his incessant flirting. Went well, I take it? Gordon wriggled his eyebrows. I nodded. Yeah. I ran my hands through my hair, my body still shaking from the rush. I can't believe she said yes. Gordon leaned back in his chair. What'd I tell you? Best time to strike is after a breakup before some other guy can swoop in. Yeah. I got my notebook out for class, but my mind was replaying asking Freja over and over. I distanced myself from Freja junior year. Seeing her with Marcus had made my blood boil. At first, I shrugged it off by flirting with other girls, Lori included. But Freja was always there, a good friend waiting to hang out or sit and listen to my problems. Then one Monday, I had walked past Freja's locker and saw her face locked onto Marcus's. It still made me want to puke thinking about it. It was a wake-up call for me. I realized what a jerk I was being, making Freja sit and listen to me yap on about other girls. It made me cringe to think how cruel I had been to take advantage of her friendship. After that, all the girls seemed fake, whiny, and self-serving. I vowed that when Marcus was out of the picture, that I would get the balls to ask Freja out. I finally did it, and she said yes! I barely registered class, my hand automatically copying notes without thinking. After class was over, I walked down the hall in a haze. My mind was still replaying the moment over and over again. I would love to go with you. I flinched when a soft hand grabbed mine as I reached for my locker. Hello, Alex. Oh, hi, Lori. I fidgeted. I really need to get my stuff. Lori peeled herself off my locker. I cringed and backed away as she leaned into me. I'm so sorry. It's just, I have something to ask you. She batted her eyes. I swallowed hard as panic roared in my ears. The vision of her in bed with my cousin flashed before my eyes. The old anger reared up, my face and ears growing hot. What do you want? I ground my teeth. Lori smiled and shifted her feet, swaying her ample chest. I would simply adore going to the dance with you, Alex. I rolled my eyes. I already asked someone else. I shoved her aside so I could finally open my locker. Lori's voice went soft and low. Well then, let me help you change your mind. Her soft body pressed against me all at once, her arms thrown about my neck. My books fell to the floor as my hands flew up, trying to fend her off. Her lips crashed into mine, her tongue slithering to find an opening. Get off me! I bellowed, shoving her into my locker. A whimper cut through my anger. I whirled my head and saw Freja standing a few paces away, her mouth agape. She turned and ran down the stairs to the first floor. My heart turned to ice. My throat burned as I tried to call out to her. I yanked Lori off of me, my hands shaking. Lori grabbed my arm. But Alex... Get away from me! I gathered up my books and slammed my locker shut. I jerked my arm away and ran down the stairs, hoping to catch Freja, my heart pounding. Lori is such a skank! I skidded down the hall and saw Freja walking toward her drawing class. Freja, wait! I panted. She turned around, her face dark, her eyebrows knitted together. My heart sank as her anger hit me like a wall. Freja crossed her arms. What do you want? Please, Freja, I didn't want that to happen, I pleaded. Freja rolled her eyes. Oh, I'm real sure guys don't want chicks to find out about the girls they're seeing on the side, Blondie. I shook my head. No, Lori threw herself at me. Please, Freja, you have to believe me. Lori's been throwing herself at me since I dumped her. Freja cocked an eyebrow. Listen, Blondie, I'm gonna be late for class. If you really mean it, then prove it. And that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for reading along, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.